Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Well, today is Friday, and I have not been out to the garden since Tuesday. This is because I've spent the last 2 days setting up my booth for the flea market, and when I get home, I am just so exhausted that I just couldn't get out here. So I've come out to see what surprises are in store for me. Also, it appears that fall is here to stay. Ooh, speaking of fall, I've had things fall. It's like it has been in the 60s for several days now. It does appear that I think next week we're going to have a few days in the 70s, and then it's going right back into the 60s. So I guess it's fall, which is very early, I would say. Usually, I would say the temperatures really start dropping. I mean, they gradually start dropping, like beginning of September, but they really start to drop and get cold like this, like into September. So fall is very early this year. I'm wondering what that's going to mean for my garden, but I guess I'll just have to see. Today the high is going to be 62, and I am cold at the moment. I have not readjusted to cooler temperatures. But it will happen. It always does. So, I think right now I'm going to take a look around the garden and see what's going on. So, I just did my rattlesnake bean harvest, and here is what I have noticed. I believe that my rattlesnake beans in this section here are starting to slow down in their production. Because if they hadn't, I would have way more beans than that. But I am noticing the plants over here, which have not produced until like now, they're picking up. They're starting to produce more. Now, the reason for that, because they were all planted at the same time, is for whatever reason, when I had that really bad Japanese beetle infestation, from here back is where they attacked my garden. There were some other areas, but this is where the worst was. I'm not sure why. I do know that they like to climb inside the corn husks and eat the corn. Maybe that was it. I don't know. But my rattlesnake beans here, and all my other beans back out that way too, have made a recovery from the beetle attack, and are doing beautifully and are starting to produce now. So that's what's going on there. So my loofahs, they're growing they're just getting huge. Now the thing is, I still only have 3. I have been seeing all kinds of blossoms on here, but none of them ever turn into new loofahs. This is my first year growing them, so I have no idea really how they grow. I thought I heard that one plant gives you a whole bunch of loofahs. I don't know. I just, get a lot of blossoms, but no loofahs. Guess, I don't know, nothing's getting pollinated. Maybe not enough male to female blossoms. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm pleased with the size of those. This is that loofah plant I was nursing back to health. It was nearly dead when I found it. It's looking good now. So I'm going to make it a better trellis. So I told you guys that I planted these honeydew late because I forgot that I had a few seedlings. But I thought, well, I have them. What the hell? I might as well give it a try. And I have been waiting and waiting. Bunch of blossoms again. No fruit, except where did I find that? I found one. See that cute little thing there? I found one. It just seems to me that with all the blossoms I've had, there should be more. And, I'm just experimenting here. I really, I'm not expecting much. I just wanted to see what would happen since I already had them. Apparently, the later in the year that you plant them, the less likely you are to get any fruit. Now, what I was not expecting was this early fall. It is usually still not hot here, but fairly warm. Today is freezing, so I don't know. I'm still going to wait and see what's going to happen. So, I don't know. We'll see. Interesting experiment. So, I have these pumpkins here. There's 16 on the shelf. I picked a total of 17 so far. I found a few more that are ready for picking. And then, a bunch more that are ripening. So I think what I'm going to do this week is start weighing the ones I want to take to the flea market and pricing them. I don't know how many pumpkins I'm going to have. It'll be a decent amount, I think. And so this is my first year selling pumpkins. Selling plants and produce at the flea market in my booth is still in the marketing research phase. So I'm just kind of experimenting and seeing what happens with what I put out there. But that's my plan for this week with the pumpkin. Well, since last time I was in the garden at the beginning of the week, these provider beans here got a whole bunch of blossoms on them. They're looking really good. I cannot remember when I planted them though. These are Kentucky Wonder Beans over here. They have not started producing blossoms yet, but they're looking very, very healthy. These are my ideal market beans, and they also appear to be coming to an end for the season. I do have a few beans up there, but it's not as much as it typically is, and it has been. Well, it's Friday. I have not harvested from here since the beginning of the week, so it is definitely coming to an end. Not a problem, because the crop that I have had the most success with this year are beans. My beans have done fantastic. So, I have all kinds of beans. I don't know what to do with. So, anyways. Okay, so in addition to my first green bean harvest, this is all I got from the rest of the gardens. So, I don't know, things might be slowing down. Tomatoes have just been so weird this year. Nothing is ripening, and I hear people from, all over the place, not just Northeast Ohio, saying this. They're not ripening. My smaller ones are ripening easier than the bigger ones. Now, these are Napolis. These are now not all of them, but a lot of my plants, even though the tomatoes aren't ripe yet, you just touch them and they fall off the vine as if they were very ripe. So I don't know why. And then cucumbers was another thing. I mean, last year, my cucumbers were going crazy. This year, I'm really not getting anything. So, I don't know. But I think I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.